The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Right Side with Doug Billings. It still goes on. Trump's lead surging, especially among the minority groups. And you're going to be surprised at what two minority groups are absolutely crushing it with support to President Trump and leaving Administrator Biden. You won't believe it. I'm not talking about just Black, Latino, Hispanic, Asian voters, white voters. There's two other demographics that are absolutely going for Trump full force ahead. It'll blow you away. And I'm going to talk about the people who continue to put forth opium, the nonsense that's out there. Mass SWAT events coming our way, mass arrests coming our way once Trump wins. We will not become them, the liberals, in order to defeat the liberals, ladies and gentlemen. None of that stuff, none of that opium, mass arrests, mass SWATs, none of it is going to happen. Don't associate with people who are putting it forth. All of this and much more. Hey, The Right Side with Doug Billings is now upon you. Are you ready? Let's go.
Hey everybody, my name is General Mike Flynn, and I'm here to do a big shout out for my great friend and one of the best in the business, Mr. Doug Billings. Right Side with Doug Billings, Right Side with Doug Billings. Doug is the future of the airwaves when it comes to independent broadcasters and podcasters. He is the new Rush Limbaugh. He's exactly what America needs right now, looking for honesty, looking for wisdom, looking for truth, looking for patriotism. Listen to Doug Billings at Right Side with Doug Billings. God bless you and God bless America, and thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are winning. We're winning, winning, winning. Welcome to The Right Side with Doug Billings. Are you ready?
We are not liberal snowflakes who melt away in the face of tragedy, adversity, and challenge. We are a covenant nation under God, and His divine providence is not dead and it's not gone. It is living within each and every one of you. And you will bring it to life in such a way that the world has never seen before. We never back down. We never give up. We march forward.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Right Side with Doug Billings. Thanks for watching us. We meet, as we always do, in determined prayer and determined patriotism. That's right. That's what we do over here. The prayer and the patriotism, both of them determined, both of them on purpose. And we are winning as a result of it because of your determined patriotism, because of your determined prayer. We are winning the battle to save our republic from the grip of this purposeful and deadly liberal woke agenda that has swept across our country. Ladies and gentlemen, please go over to dougbillings.us and support us over there, please. dougbillings.us. Look for the support, the donate tab at the top of the webpage, and fill out a form whereby you can, on a monthly basis, support this program. We're in desperate need of that. We appreciate it very much. As with everything, it takes money, time, and effort to produce the show and to get it out to you, trying to reclaim the place that the legacy media has taken with regards to giving you the truth. And we have, for the past 4 years, been the primary purveyor of truth in the media, and we appreciate your support at dougbillings.us. So, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of the last 4 years and how you and I have been together and how because of our relationship, you have become the most intellectually mature audience in all of podcast land, there are things that I've been telling you for the last couple of years at least that we're now beginning to see come true, and other people are beginning to also mention them. A little bit late to the game, but that's okay. At least they've arrived at the game, right? So, for example, you've heard me tell you that General Flynn will be used in a new capacity in Trump's administration, and it's likely not going to be the vice presidency. It's like people out there saying things like, a Vice President Flynn will make Trump assassin-proof. No. The radical left doesn't give a rip. They're going to do harmful things no matter what. Now, I'm not saying they're going to assassinate anybody, but General Flynn will not be the vice president more than likely. He would be wasted in the role of vice presidency. Second of all, in all honesty, we are after 8 years, 12 years, not just 4. We're not just after 2024, ladies and gentlemen. We are after 2024, 2028, 2032, and beyond. And we need someone in a current vice presidential role who could be the standard bearer for the Conservative Party moving forward. So I have told you, and other people are listening and watching, I know they do, they use this show as their show prep. Flynn will be used as what I call the Secretary of Accountability, where he will go in and gut, cleanse, and purge the Department of Justice and other governmental agencies. You'll see the Department of Education, probably a target, the Department of Energy, the Department of the Interior, and others. But Flynn will be used for that. So no matter what the title may actually be, I call it the Secretary of the Department of Accountability, but it could be called something else. But he will be doing those things, probably not the vice presidency. I think that those agencies that I mentioned just now, education, energy, interior, they may well be eliminated, ladies and gentlemen. It wouldn't surprise me at all if that happens. You've also heard me tell you that President Trump is gaining incredible ground, in fact, historical ground in this election cycle. Within demographics of people that have been traditionally, at least over the past 50 or 60 years or so, strongholds of the Communist Socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party. Well, he's making inroads there, and he's winning. We have, for example, young black voters, especially young black men, who are migrating towards President Trump in record numbers. Again, I've said this all before, and people are beginning to watch and listen, and they're using this data in their own shows. So I'm just kind of regurgitating a little bit of what I've said before to let you know about some other great news that's coming. But I've said in record numbers, these people, Latinos, blacks, Hispanics, whites, all demographics are migrating towards President Trump. And just the other day, one of the most well-known and perhaps I would say renowned of all of the pollsters who's out there, you've seen him all the time on CNN and Fox News, etc. His name is Frank Luntz. And he obviously watches or listens to this program because he's saying everything that I've been saying to you for the past few years. Young black men are migrating towards President Trump in record numbers. Frank Luntz picked this up. Now, Frank he's not a huge fan of President Trump. In fact, I think based on what I've seen him say, what I've heard him say, I would bet you that he is probably a never Trumper. But I hand it to him because in an interview on CNN just the other day, he was being objective. He was being honest in his assessment about the 2024 election and the demographic makeup of the voters that are supporting President Trump now in record numbers and the ones who are, by the way, abandoning Administrator Biden. So Frank Luntz was very candid, very objective, very honest, and he's obviously stating some of the things that you've heard me say. Take a look here. I'll just show you a short clip, and you can listen to this if you're listening to it on your favorite podcast platform. Take a look here. Clip number 1.
Voters, it's younger black voters and particularly younger black men. I discovered this when I got off a plane at JFK when 2 baggage handlers came over to me to tell me that I don't get it, that they're going to vote for Donald Trump because they think they are being victimized the same way that he is. In some of these votes that have left Joe Biden over the last 4 years, it's because of Biden's weakness. In this case, young black men see in Donald Trump the same kind of oppression, the same kind of persecution, the idea that Trump is a victim and they feel victimized by the system. And so they're endorsing Trump because of the fight that he's having. And I actually think it's possible that among black voters, male black voters under age 40, that even a third of them could end up with Trump in the fall.
So you see, ladies and gentlemen, that is a staggering assessment. Young black voters under the age of 40 supporting President Trump, a Republican, in more numbers than have been recorded before ever. Luntz is saying that upwards of 1/3 of American black men under the age of 40 will likely vote for President Trump in 2024's election. That is astounding. It can't be understated. It's a demographic that's voted for Administrator Biden and other communist socialists, formerly known as Democrats, in upwards of 87%. In fact, in 2020, Biden got 87% of this demographic, this young black men demographic. He got 87% of them. And the reason behind this surge of migration towards President Trump, and not just with this particular group of black men under age 40, but with every demographic that is supporting President Trump, is that they are reacting to, the voters are reacting to the lawfare that has been waged against President Trump. And to be clear, ladies and gentlemen, what this means in further analysis is that the general public, which makes up all of these demographics that I've mentioned, what they're doing, whether they're Latino, Hispanic, Asian, white, black, whatever, men, women, young and old, they are raging against the machine. They're looking at the system, the Department of Justice in particular, and they despise what it's doing to President Trump. They are raging against the machine. Much more on this in more detail when we come back, ladies and gentlemen. And again, I remind you, please head over to DougBillings.us, my website. At the top of the page, find the Donate tab. Click on it and set up a recurring monthly donation for the program, please. DougBillings.us. Thank you, and I'll be right back. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that you could change the trajectory of your aging process? Look and feel better, live younger, be more active, less pain when you move around, sleep better, diminish the lines and the wrinkles on your face? Really? This is what I'm telling you. It's possible. You see, low stem cell activity happens when we get older, and it could be causing many of the health problems that some people have in the world today. Because as we get older, we have less stem cell activity, which means we age faster and we heal slower. The secret is a clinically proven and patented phototherapy non-transdermal patch, whose technology is the result of over 90 clinical studies and over 20 years of research. Your healthier life can begin today, and you can discover true age reversal. Age reversal, ladies and gentlemen. Please go to liveyounger.with.doug.us. liveyounger.with.doug.us, ladies and gentlemen. Get over there today. Or if you'd like, text my name, Doug, to 41372. Doug, text it, 41372. And get over to liveyounger.with.doug.us. Get younger, feel younger. I'm doing it. I'm wearing this patch. I feel great, and so will you. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. For the Republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to The Right Side with Doug Billings. Thanks for being here with you, where evidence of the obvious is sufficient. Liberals, that's right. They're intellectually immature, ladies and gentlemen. So raging against the machine, that's what these demographics, that's what we're all doing, ladies and gentlemen. When we see what Administrator Biden has done, what the hierarchy of his commune socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party, is doing, they are thrusting upon us, cascading down upon the entire population of this republic, the radical left woke agenda of chaos, desperation, hopelessness, illegal immigration. I mean, we could go on and on. We are raging against that. And that's what these polls reflect. The anger, the rage against the policies, the platform, and the politics of this radical left woke agenda. But it's much more, really. I think when you take a deeper look at it, it's much more than just them or us despising the system. I want you to listen carefully. What these people are doing, what we're all doing, is supporting President Trump. That's obvious. But we're doing it. These demographic groups, young black men, Asians, Latinos, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, they're supporting Trump because they identify with Trump. You see, these, especially, let's just take a look at the demographic of the young black men under the age of 40. I mean, we could talk about all black men, to be honest with you. They view the system, quote unquote, the system, as that which has screwed them all in the past. And it has, ladies and gentlemen. You and I, millions of other people in this country, we've all been screwed by the government not fulfilling or even listening to the will of the people. It's been building and festering for decades, this anger, this rage, this frustration. It just didn't happen all of a sudden in 2020. Let's be clear about that. The uniparty members of the elected class, Democrats, Republicans, both parties, have ignored the will of the people. Some people call them the establishment, the swamp, the uniparty, whatever. These are people who typically have been in politics for over 30 years or so. In fact, anybody in politics over 15 years runs a risk of just being the swamp. But they've been ignoring the will of the people for far too long, and we're getting sick of it. And I'm telling you, there is a great reawakening happening in America. And in fact, it's happening around the world. And it's in direct opposition to the liberal, radical, woke agendas that have been purposefully and forcefully thrusting chaos upon us. I mean, a few examples. Obviously, there's Trump in the United States, who embodies our resentment and rage against the machine. There's Javier Milei in Argentina, another example. There's Geert Wilders in the Netherlands. He's another one. He's the guy, by the way, that looks like Jimmy Page. Look him up. Geert Wilders, president of the Netherlands. Look him up. Jimmy Page, I'm telling you. My point here is, ladies and gentlemen, the anti-liberal, anti-woke, pro-God, pro-life, pro-liberty movement is sweeping the entire planet. And you don't hear about it. Oh, Doug, are you sure? I feel so depressed and hopeless and despondent. I don't blame you, because all you see in the media is the exact opposite of what I'm telling you. And what I'm telling you is the truth. Now, it's not just Black, Hispanic, Latino, and white voters out there. The next demographic that I'm going to share with you is going to blow your mind, especially in context of how Donald Trump has won them over. Donald Trump is leading Administrator Biden among Arab and Muslim voters in 5 battleground states. It's absolutely astounding. Now, some backdrop and context. There was a New York Times and Siena College poll recently released. It was about 5 or 6 days ago. They had these results. Of those who said that they voted in 2020, that they had supported Biden, the Arab Muslim world, at that time, they supported Biden by 56% Biden, 35% Trump. My friends, it has flipped. Those numbers are almost identically opposite now. It's difficult to underestimate or understate this monumental news that's behind these numbers. And it's not even close. President Trump is leading Administrator Biden among Arab and Muslim voters in 5 battleground states. Trump is at 57%, and Administrator Biden is at 25% in that demographic. 57 to 25 Arab and Muslim voters favoring President Trump. I mean, it's absolutely mind-blowing. And by the way, the next cocktail party you're at, you have my permission. Use these statistics for your liberal friends who will spew out falsehoods, fake polls and numbers and false hope, because it's within these margins, in these demographics, in all of the demographics that we're talking about. You're going to see states like Minnesota, Michigan, Georgia, West Virginia, and ladies and gentlemen, New York. Those states are in play right now for President Trump in the 2024 presidential election. Unbelievable. Now, we can only hope that it runs down ballot and people, members of the squad, especially Ilhan Omar up in Michigan and so forth, and the rest of them, Presley and all of them, all of the kooks. We hope that this trend of Muslim and Arab voters for Trump transposes into support for whoever's running against those kooks as well, right? But this is huge news. 5 battleground states in play right now among all demographics, not just Arab and Muslim, but in all of these demographics for President Trump. All of these in play because Trump has done something incredibly rare in politics. He's captured all major demographics on his side, and these numbers are growing. What demographics? Well, just a sampling here for you. Whites, blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, Asians, the rural community, the urban community, men, women, and it gets even better. If we were to take the average of all of the recent polls, the Electoral College has something to say about that. If we were to plug the numbers of all of the average polls, all of the numbers from the average polls taken over the last few weeks, something incredible. And I'm going to show it to you when we come back from this break, ladies and gentlemen. You won't believe it. The good news is coming. The great reawakening is here. Give yourselves permission to believe it, but don't become lackadaisical. I'm going to talk about the work we have yet to do coming up on the other side of this break. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've got the afternoon tireds, you need more energy in the afternoons. You know, have you ever had what I call the afternoon head drop? You know, that afternoon you're at the desk or whatever and you get the drowsy head drops. Well, I've got the product that's going to help you get rid of that. And it's also going to help you live younger. This product reinvigorates your own body's natural stem cells. It re-energizes you. I want you to go to liveyoungerwithdoug.us. Liveyoungerwithdoug.us. Get information over there. Fill out the form. It's all just about getting you information about how you can look and feel younger. Wrinkles gone. Energy enhanced. Liveyoungerwithdoug.us. I'll be right back. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
I want to tell you about the good people over at EMP Shield, electromagnetic pulse. Electromagnetic pulse, ladies and gentlemen, it can fry your home electrical system or your vehicle's electrical system. But if you attach one of these, now this is for your breaker box at home. There's a smaller version that goes on your battery of your car, your vehicle, that will prevent it from being fried in the event of an electromagnetic pulse. Because as you know, thanks to Administrator Biden, many people coming across the border now who don't exactly have the best of intentions. Protect yourself. EMPshield.com. Get huge discounts over there if you use the promo code Doug.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to The Right Side with Doug Billings, where I'm dispensing to you intellectual maturity. And I'm doing it with a lot of great enthusiasm. Wonder, joy, and meaning is yours. You are the members of the most intellectually mature audience in all of podcast land. Ladies and gentlemen, the demographics in the United States voter class, right? All of the people voting. You can look at the greatest majority of them, whites, Latinos, blacks, Hispanics, Asians, the people who live in the farm country, the people who live in the cities, men, women. President Trump is capturing great numbers of these demographics. It's incredibly rare for any one candidate to capture the majority of numbers in all of these demographics, but Trump is doing it. And as I said before the break, it's getting even better than that. And what could be even better than that than you continuing to receive the truth from this program? DougBillings.us, ladies and gentlemen. Go over there, DougBillings.us. At the top of the website, the donate tab. Click on it, set up a recurring monthly donation to help us. So even better news coming. If we were to take the average number of poll numbers, the average number from all of these polls, let's go back a few months. Let's go back to around Christmas time of 2023. If we plug those numbers from those polls into the Electoral College, President Trump has a landslide over Administrator Biden with 312 Electoral College votes to only 226 for Biden. Take a look at this graph. It boils down to a 55% Trump win to a 40% Biden loss if the election were held today. I know. It's a picture in time. That's why we can't become lackadaisical. We've got to continue to engage in determined patriotism, determined prayer in our local levels of government, and get involved. We cannot take this for granted. But Trump right now sits at 312 electoral college votes. 312. You only need 270 to win. This is why I told you last week reasons why James Carville and other key Democrat communist socialist leaders and their hierarchy are in absolute panic mode because they see this as well. And I know, James, you watch and listen to the show. How are you? The Harvard Harris poll came out last week. It has President Trump up nationally, across the nation, with a 6-point lead over Administrator Biden. 53% for Trump, 47% for Administrator Biden. President Trump has now, ladies and gentlemen, he has a comfortable lead, winning the popular vote as well. Now, carry this forward to fundraising efforts. Trump, over the past several months, has steadily increased the money in his coffers, gaining more and more ground over Administrator Biden, who has steadily declined in his efforts to raise money. But then the word decline is part of what Joe Biden represents, ladies and gentlemen. If there's anything that Joe Biden represents really well, it's decline. Now, okay, so you know me. I don't want to lull anybody into a false sense of security here. We've got to remain diligent, got to stay at work, can't sit on the sidelines. We've got to engage in the battle. We have lots of work to do. This is in no way any time to become lackadaisical or overly confident. The radical left members of the elected class hierarchy see these numbers just as well as you and I do. And you can better believe that they are hosting back office meetings and Zoom calls all throughout the Republic in order to figure out how to countermeasure what's going on here. We've got to continue to get involved in our local levels of government. That's where this battle will be won. It will not be won on social media posts. We've got to get out there and make sure that if you and your local communities are not vetting candidates, you've got to start. What do I mean by that? Local levels of government, Republican committee men and women, you have an important role to fulfill within your county, in your state. People run for office. They declare themselves to be a Republican, a Democrat, an independent, or whatever. You have got to make sure that the people who are running as Republicans are, in fact, really Republicans. That's called vetting. We not only have a right to do that, we have a duty to do that. So before you put anybody on your ballot, before you allow anybody to get in front of your city clerk, your county clerk, and get on the ballot as a Republican, you have got to vet that candidate. And if they don't meet your criteria for being a true Republican conservative, then they don't get on the ballot, ladies and gentlemen. It's time that we conservatives rise to that level of activism because the radical left have been doing it for a lot longer than we have. How many people do you think in the Democratic Party are accused of being Dinos, Democrats in name only? Hardly any. We are plagued by this on the Republican side, and vetting is one of the ways that we stop it. Well, how do you tell, Doug? How do you tell if somebody's a rhino or not? I've told you this a million times. You ask that candidate a few questions. One of the questions is, do you believe that the 2020 election was rigged or that we have election integrity issues in almost every state? Do you believe that voting machines, electronic voting machines, should be done away with? Now, if that candidate or person running for re-election says, no, I don't think there's fraud, I think election machines that are electronic are fine, that's a rhino, ladies and gentlemen. If they're on our side trying to run as a Republican, that's a rhino. Get them out. They don't get the honor of running for office or being reelected as a Republican. So all of you who are members of your local county Republican committees, Republican committee men, committee women, please advocate for and implement a vetting system for all of the candidates who are registered as Republicans so that we can get a grip on this plague of rhinoism. I mean, that's in a lot of ways what determined patriotism looks like. It's doing the hard work of getting involved in our local levels of government, getting involved in school boards. I know nobody in their right mind wants to go sit through a 3-hour school board meeting, especially when you just come home from work after a long day. But by gosh, that's the determined patriotism that our side needs and that we've been lacking in for 126 years. And I'm not even making that number up. Since 1897, we have sat on the sidelines at the local level. We've done great things nationally, but at the local level, we conservatives have not been thoroughly enough involved to win these things and to overcome their cheat. Now, the good news is that more and more of you are doing this. Not enough yet. We still have a lot of work to do, but there's this great reawakening that's happening. And we can see it throughout the Republic, throughout the world. And it's due precisely because of patriotic, local, conservative involvement that you are providing. So congratulations to you who are listening or watching this program. If you're listening to this program, if you're watching this program, please share it. Send it to your family and friends. Find me on social media. Look at the clips that I post. Some of them are just a minute or so long, 30 seconds in some cases. Forward the clips. Get people involved in this program, in this show. Direct them over to dougbillings.us. Have them look at the website. Have them look at the news and so forth that we post over there, the shows. All right. Up against another break already, ladies and gentlemen. I will be right back. Stay with me. God bless you. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Doug Billings here on the set of my show, The Right Side. I am standing shoulder to shoulder with Mike Lindell and his employees over at mypillow.com. Use the promo code Billings when you go over there to mypillow.com. Everything that you need. You already know about the sheets, the pillows, obviously the pillows, the slippers, the best slippers in the world, ladies and gentlemen. They even have dog beds and pet beds over there. I've got 2 of them for my service dog, Jet. Absolutely, I do. MyPillow.com. Stand shoulder to shoulder with me and Mike Lindell as we support his employees as he endeavors to become one of the refounders, if you will, one of the refounding fathers of our republic. It's the least we can do. MyPillow.com, promo code Billings. Please, ladies and gentlemen, MyPillow.com, promo code Billings. Believe it, for the republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to The Right Side with Doug Billings, standing with you shoulder to shoulder to help deliver to you the wonder, the joy, the meaning that God and the founding fathers intended for your life here in the American Republic. And, in fact, around the world. Look, American exceptionalism is one thing. We have worldwide exceptionalism. People who are conservative, who believe in the values of God, of human rights, of life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. You don't have to be American to have those. For those of you listening and watching from around the world, welcome. We want you to be involved with us, and we're grateful for you too. This great migration of voters that we're seeing towards candidates who espouse the conservative values that we're talking about, not only in President Trump, but like I mentioned before, Javier Milei in Argentina, Geert Wilders in the Netherlands. These kind of men and women are out there, and they are with us. They're on our side, the right side. All of these candidates are being followed by the vast majority of people precisely because of the values for which they stand, which are universal and evergreen. These are principles and values that are life-changing, that are life-giving instead of life-taking. We are a party, a conservative party that is of life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. And it's no wonder that people gleam to those things. Now, the media, because they are who they are and they've aligned with the radical left, they make it appear as if they are the majority. They are not. And so I don't want you to feel despondent, hopeless, or absolutely afraid that in America, for example, that the American way of life is on that America is on her deathbed. She's not. Far from it. Far, far from it. But this great migration of voters in every demographic that is migrating towards President Trump, we hope that flows down ballot, that support, that migration to other conservative candidates. But if you're looking at the numbers in the polls, it's not necessarily so. So to my point, we still have a lot of work to do at our local levels. One of the most obvious examples of this is Kari Lake in Arizona. You would think that she should be winning her race. She's not. She's trailing her opponent in the Senate race in Arizona. A lot of work to be done out there. We're going to need her in the Senate to help regain the majority in that body of government. Conversely, there are Democrats in battleground states who are vulnerable this election cycle. And they are abandoning Administrator Biden precisely because of his brand and his image, the chaos and the destruction that this commune socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party, represents today. They don't want anything to do with Biden's coattails, much less ride them. They don't want anything to do with that man. So watch and see how these people, especially in these battleground states, begin to distance themselves. And it wouldn't be right if I didn't mention that throughout all of this, whether it's the lawfare that we see, the illegal immigration, not only in the United States, but in other nations as well. Again, it's the entire woke liberal agenda. Okay. The liberal agenda is a deadly agenda. The liberal agenda is an anti-American, anti-freedom loving agenda. Evidence of the obvious is sufficient. Just look what it's doing. But Administrator Biden, on top of all of these problems that he's facing, with all of those issues, economy, border, energy, immigration, also, people see that. Don't get me wrong. People see that, and that's the reason for this migration towards Trump. They're fed up with it. They look at what they're seeing. This is not what I signed up for. That would be a Biden supporter, right, in 2020. Well, I did vote for him, but this, by God, is not what I signed up for. This kind of chaos and destruction, not me. I'm going for Trump this time because they see the chaos. But also what they see, ladies and gentlemen, if I'm honest, is they see Joe Biden's dementia. There's no one out there with any credible amount of intellectual maturity who can claim that Biden is mentally fit. I mean, they've even begun to use his image in Russia on posters that advertise dementia facilities. I'm not kidding. And so, as discussed here, when I look at my analysis here presented to you, this is playing out among the vast majority of American voters. It plays out in their decision-making process with regards to who they're going to support, all of the issues that we're seeing, his dementia, and it plays a part within their process of who they're going to vote for, who they're going to support for president. And clearly, most people are supporting and migrating towards President Trump. The numbers are all there. Do not, please do not become complacent. And it makes you wonder, at least it makes me wonder, if in fact that this commune socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party, will begin to make plans to replace Administrator Biden at some point, especially as we grow closer and closer to November's election. But regardless as to whether or not that happens, you can believe that what we speculated about with regards to how the left will attempt to win the 2024 election. Remember, with me, as this show progressed through the years after 2020, we were wondering together, weren't we? How are they going to do it again? When 2024 gets here, how are they going to cheat? Because by God, we know the left side cheats. I mean, the right side cheats too. We don't do it as deviously, I think, as them, but we've done it in the past, if we're honest. But here we are now presented with the answer to that question. How are they going to do it? Lawfare. We're seeing it play out. I've said this to you before, just recapping. It's political interference. The Alvin Bragg, the Fannie Willis, all of these cases. Political interference. They don't want him on the ballot. They can't beat him at the ballot box. They don't want him on the ballot, so therefore lawfare. And you've seen it along the way with me. And so I have a final thought before I say so long to you today, ladies and gentlemen. There are, and this is a serious thing, I'm not going to mention any names, but there are some members of our conservative movement who continue to put forth what I call hopium. It's false hope, it's clickbait, whatever you want to call it, but they put forth things that are wildly intellectually immature, wildly false and not true, and they're not at all helpful to our conservative movement. And it's important that you realize this. Our conservative movement is at its core rooted in our local involvement in our political system. That is what our conservative cause is all about. Our conservative cause is not about the lie and the myth of devolution. Devolution is not in play, and the people who have put it forth before you are not honest. They have no integrity. Another one is the 17th letter of the alphabet. If you're from Raytown, Missouri, that's the letter Q. I'm just saying it's a psyop. It has nothing to do whatsoever with any kind of reality. And yet there are people making their livings telling you that it is, and it does. They're lying to you, ladies and gentlemen. The military, another one, another famous crazy one. The military or the National Guard, they're in control of America. I mean, that one is so nonsensical, I'm not even going to comment about it. Or what about President Trump is still in charge? He's pulling all the strings. He's in charge behind the scenes, calling all the shots. Are you kidding me? I've had conversations with him, with Eric, with no. That's absolute kookville. And the people who have publicly stated these things are liars. You should disassociate yourself from them for the sake of your own credibility. And now there are some people within our movement claiming that after Trump's election in 2024, you're going to see mass arrests. You're going to see mass SWAT events. The police are going to rush in and we're going to usher in retribution aimed at the radical left members of the elected class hierarchy and members of the Department of Justice and other bureaucrats who have helped cascade down upon us all sorts of purposeful chaos, a tsunami of hatred and vengeance that we will counterbalance and do the same. I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that is not going to happen. You will not see mass SWAT events. You will not see mass arrests. Don't get me wrong. We will do our best to hold people accountable, but we will not return their unconstitutional and tyrannical chaos with unconstitutional and tyrannical behavior of our own. We're not going to do it. This bloodlust that some people have out there has got to be curtailed. You are a human being with free will. Contain yourselves and act with the decorum that is representative of the God who gave you your rights. The accountability that we endeavor to provide to the republic and to the people within it is the rising up of the unification of the voices of we the people. Who will be the ones who eliminate from office those who have perpetrated this chaos, this death, the riots, the arson, the anarchy upon us, and all manner of other attacks against our republic? We will do it with our true conservative, godly methods that we have at our disposal, which are all summed up in the term we the people and exercised by our involvement in our local levels of government. We will not become them in order to eliminate them. And we can do it, ladies and gentlemen. We can do it. Don't let the demon of cynicism roost upon you. Cast that demon out. We can correct the voting systems in this country. We can get rid of the machines. We can go back to paper ballots and election day as the founders wanted it to be. We can arrive at verifiable election integrity without depending upon the tactics that the liberals use. Give yourselves permission to believe this. Believe it, ladies and gentlemen, for the Republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.